How's it going, pals? This is Ernez, and today we're going to talk what happened with the wrestling code. Now, I'm not going to stretch this video and be like, oh, hit the like button before we talk about it. I'm just going to get right into it and say that it's still happening. It's being developed right now. A lot is being done. Mocap is still being done. Just a lot is going on. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff online about, oh, the game's never happening. And, they haven't released anything. They're being quiet because the game is doing bad. Things like that. And honestly, I get it. If I was on the other side and it was another game I was looking forward to, I would say the same thing and I would think the same thing. If you don't know, the game wasn't supposed to be announced yet. At this point, it probably would have, but when it got announced, it wasn't supposed to. It got leaked. So they thought, you know what, we'll show things along the road, and stuff like that. The only problem with that is when you focused on what to show, then it takes away a little bit of the developing of the game. So they wanted to take quite a little break from that and develop the game and make it what it should be. So a lot of things has happened that, mocap wise, and I'll go over that in just a moment, but I will say my opinions as well. And we'll go from there and how, the wrestling code should go from here. So I want to start off by saying that recently Facade has done more mocap. He done it with Grim, I think. And Grim says in his video that he actually have already mocap, which we know of. And this time he's a little thinner. So, you get two versions of Grim, Fat Grim and Slim Grim. So, that's kind of funny. So yeah, you got things like that's happening. And then here recently, Tajiri has done his mocap, Cardona, JTG, so many things is happening with the wrestling code, behind the scenes that isn't technically being announced. Just, the wrestlers have been posting them or whatever. But I wanted to go a little bit over, how everyone is feeling. I'm seeing a lot of messages, not only on my YouTube, but on Twitter and, things like that, of people saying, hey, the game's never coming out. They're not talking about it. It's dead in the water, things like that. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I get it. If it was another game, I'd understand 100%. Just because I know some things behind the scenes, it puts my mind at ease. And I know right now we can't do that for you. The only thing I can say is that there is plans to release something. I don't know how soon, but I know that it's something big in the works. It's just every single time that they think they're getting on track, it's like, they even mentioned that AEW game that came out and a lot of expectations completely died and the game died. And not that they were on a bad track anyway, but they were like, okay, we need to make sure that we have a lot of moves in our game. We need to make sure that when it comes out, it lives up to expectations. We need to make sure that there's enough content in the game. Just an all around great foundation for the game as soon as it comes out and has the day one content, Thousands of moves is hard to mocap, especially when you want that mocap from the actual wrestlers, that they can do, like Tajiri. Only Tajiri can do some of the Tajiri stuff and make it look as authentic as he can. So getting that is a big part of what the wrestling code's going to be about. And I'm really, really excited for those little things like that. And I can say once again that I understand how everyone feels, but I've seen the behind the stage stuff and I've seen if you don't know, I'm a video editor for Virtual Basement and for the wrestling code. And I've seen some stuff that you guys haven't even seen, where I would cut it out of the video or whatever, where they're talking and little scenes of them telling them, hey, let's do this so that it looks a bit more authentic, or let's do your entrance again, but do it this way. And not telling the wrestler what to do, but basically going, hey, how about we do this because it would be really cool to be in the game, or this looks more authentic in the game of what you do. And I really, really, really think that that's going to make this game set apart. But how do I feel about it? Because, I want content out. and I want to be able to talk about it because that's the part of it. But I'm just going to give this simple advice: just forget about it. And I know that sounds really bad, but that's what I do when I'm not editing something and there's months in between. I'm really excited about the game, but honestly, the best thing to do is just forget about it. If a piece of info comes out, you could maybe look at it, check it out, see how it is. And, if it frustrates you or something, then, just let it go until the game comes out, until it gets closer, until you see enough evidence where you're like, oh, okay, it's in my mind now. The game is getting close. We're good. I can say, and I don't know if any of you know me well enough. A lot of new ones are coming in, but there's a lot of 2K stuff that I turned down. And there's a lot of things I talk bad about them because they stopped being authentic. A lot of it was lies. Even some of the content creators was just spouting out lies, and they would have to correct themselves, and it really frustrated me. So I don't want to be one of those. So the only thing I could tell you is that I've played the game. I can't tell you how much I've played, but I've actually played it in my hand with a controller, like actually played the game. So I know that much is real. I know that they're actually mocapping with wrestlers, as you could see. So that's real. They're not going to do all that if the game isn't real. You know what I mean? They're not making any money. There's no Kickstarter. There's nothing like that. So there's no reason for that. So I could tell you without like any hesitation, like I believe 100% in my mind, and all of that this game is 100% real. It is coming out. So that's all I can tell you. But I did want to thank you. I know this video is getting long, but I did want to thank you for checking out my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much. I do post a lot of other content, but Wrestling Code, of course, is going to be a lot of content on it as it gets closer to release. Then, you'll see more and more, maybe even exclusive stuff, things like that. So I'm really excited for that. Thank you so much for hanging in there after my break. Shout out to Franklin and Tim for always messaging me and being like, hey, where you at? Or, what content? So thank you guys. Also, shout out to Tim. He's always sending me stuff as well. Hey, you should make a video on this. So that's great. That always makes me feel a little bit better about my videos. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button. And as always, you can be a pal and subscribe.